Hi, this is Jess Daniels, the Pro Ag Ventures, and today we're going to do a little water test. So everyone's always asking, how do I get a better kill with my spray, and why didn't this mix well, or whatever. And so today we're going to kind of show you how to get your pH correct with the water. We're going to show you the conventional way of using dry AMS to condition water. We're going to show you what it was like with the competitor that we used to do this with, show you their product, and then we're going to show you what citric acid and dechlorinate does to your water. The one thing that we won't be able to show you with this test is be able to show you what it does to the carbonates and how it takes them out of it, but we can show you what the pH does. We went and bought a little pH tester. You can get them off Amazon. I think we bought 4 of them for like 20 some bucks. You got to calibrate them, but it's a pretty simple little deal. So we're going to test our water. We've got 3 jugs of 3-gallon samples of rural water, and we got 3-gallon samples out of our well water. And one of the things you can kind of see visually on our rural versus the well water, the rural water actually looks a little more cloudy, and I think it's just because of the chlorine that's in the deal, versus the well water is a little more clear. That was what I first noticed when we first put them in there. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to measure the pH. I'm just going to do it for safety's sake, just do it for 1 sample of the rural water, 1 sample for the well water, and then we'll test it. So now that we had our pH of our water, we're going to go ahead and treat our rural water first, and then we'll do our well water second. But we're going to treat the rural water first with dechlorinator, and that is Concept Agri-Tech's dechlorinator. What that's going to do is it's going to take the chlorine out of the water, tie it up, and it's also going to tie up any calcium carbonates. And then we're going to take and kind of stir that around a little bit, because when you treat this in a normal deal, you're going to put in 1 gallon per 1,000 gallons. So it's nice to just go ahead and treat your whole tank up, let it kind of sit a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and add the citric acid to it, which is normally we would add 7 ounces per 100 gallon of water. So we've got this already pre-measured up for our gallon of water on that deal. We'll stir that up and kind of let that sit just a second, and we'll check it in a minute. Then what we have here is a pre-measured amount of a competitors that we used to use, and a lot of people still use this around. And what that was is a rate of 8 ounces per 100, which was kind of the full rate for that product. Lots of times we used it even at 4 ounces per 100. So we'll put that in there and stir that up. And then lastly, we have AMS, which is kind of what everyone uses, the old industry standard, and that's pre-measured up to be 17.5 pounds per 100, which if you read the old bag of AMS, that's what it showed, 17.5 pounds per 100. A lot of guys use 2 pounds or 3 pounds per acre, but that's actually what it calls for off the bag. So we'll kind of stir them up, check them around, and remember this pH was 7.4 in the rural water. So now we're going to come back and we're going to check those pHs. Alright, so now we're going to do our well water, and the well water was at a 8.1 pH, and so we're going to put our dechlorinator in there first. And like I said, there's no chlorine in our well water, we know that, but what we're trying to do is get out the carbonates out of that water. And then next we're going to put in our citric acid. Kind of give that a little quick stir around. Let it sit for a second. Next we're going to put in our competitor, and what we were using before, like I said, is 8 ounces per 100. And so that's measured down to where that's equivalent for this 1 gallon jug. And then lastly, we're going to put in our AMS, and that's equivalent to the 17.5 pounds per 100. We'll kind of stir it all up, get it, splash water out. We'll get it kind of mixed up. And then we'll go back and check all the pHs here in just a second in these. like I said, a lot of these things change when it comes to the well water versus rural water. Rural water is got all the chlorine, all the extra additives into it, and so it makes chemical reactions a little different. So we didn't lower, well, some things. The citric acid lowered the rural water a lot more than what we did with the well water. But when you look at the, like the competitor or the AMS, we didn't move that much on rural water. We get to the well water, we moved it just a little more. But one thing to keep in mind is the optimum deal for like a glyphosate or in your 2,4-D type products, so like the Enlist, we want to be at a 5.5 to 6. You read the label, it'll say from 3 to 6 is the range you want to run. And I said that wrong, though. It's 5 to 5.5 you want to be at. So the one that we got the closest with that out of all these was the citric acid and the dechlorinator. And if we had a test where we could test for the carbonates in the water, we'd find out that we were taking more carbonates out, probably, or should be, with the dechlorinator and the citric acid. And we probably were taking out quite a few carbonates with the competitor. And with the AMS, we should have noticed some, but probably not a lot. So if you're having trouble killing things and your spray's not working well, maybe we need to talk about citric acid and dechlorinator to get your pHs right. And if you don't know what your pH is, you don't want to buy one of these little deals, holler at us and we'll test your water and see where we're at. Thank you and have a good day.